Welcome back to Aliyah and Chill. I'm your host, and today we're exploring the uniquely American experience of making Aliyah. Fair warning, this episode contains themes of customer service withdrawal, portion-size shock, and the tragic realization that your personal injury lawyer can't help you in the Middle East. So there I was, a perfectly reasonable American Jew, accustomed to supersized everything and customer service with a smile, when I decided to make Aliyah. I figured, how different could it be? I just transfer my American efficiency and can-do attitude to the startup nation. It would be like Silicon Valley, but with better falafel and more history. Oh, how beautifully wrong I was. The first culture shock hit at Ben Gurion Airport. After 30 years of American customer service, where the customer is always right, I encountered Israeli service where the customer is usually wrong and probably annoying. "Excuse me," I said with my brightest American smile to the customs officer. "I'm making Aliyah. Could you please direct me to—" "Passport," he interrupted, not looking up. "Oh, absolutely. Here you go. I'm so excited to be here. This is such an amazing—" Next. Wait, what? Where was the welcome to Israel speech? The congratulations? The small talk about my journey? This guy treated my life-changing immigration moment like I was buying gum at a gas station. The portion size adjustment was traumatic. I ordered a large coffee at my first Israeli cafe, expecting something the size of a small bathtub. What I received was a tiny cup that wouldn't satisfy a toddler's thirst. "Excuse me," I said politely. "I think there might be a mistake. I ordered a large coffee." "This is large," the barista replied, looking at me like I'd asked for a swimming pool full of espresso. "But it's so small. This is normal size. You Americans just drink ridiculous amounts of everything." He wasn't wrong, but did he have to be so blunt about it? Where was the gentle customer service cushioning? The apologetic explanation? The offer to make it right? The personal space situation nearly gave me anxiety attacks. Americans need roughly 17 feet of personal space for casual conversation. Israelis conduct intimate discussions at what Americans consider inappropriate distances. My first conversation with my new neighbor happened while I was trying to back away from him as he got closer and closer, until I was literally pressed against my apartment door. "So you're from America?" he asked, close enough that I could see his dental work. "Yes," I squeaked. "New York, actually. Wonderful city. Very spacious. Why did you leave? What do you do? Are you married? Why not? How much do you pay for rent? What's your salary? Do you want children?" I felt like I was being interviewed for a very personal job. In America, these questions would take months of friendship to emerge. Here, they were apparently standard small talk. The healthcare system blew my mind. After years of American healthcare, where seeing a doctor required 3 insurance companies, 4 forms of ID, and possibly a small loan, I walked into an Israeli clinic and just got treated. "That'll be 50 shekels, said the doctor after a full examination. "For the consultation fee? For everything. But what about my insurance authorization? The pre-approval? The network provider verification? The deductible?" "You have national insurance. You're covered. Pay 50 shekels. I stood there holding my wallet, completely confused by the lack of bureaucratic complexity. Where were the forms? The copays? The billing department that would hound me for 6 months? The directness took serious adjustment. Americans communicate in layers of politeness and subtext. "That's interesting" means "I disagree completely." "I'll think about it" means "absolutely not." "We should grab coffee sometime" means "I hope I never see you again." Israeli communication is more straightforward. "That's wrong" means "that's wrong." "No" means "no." "We should grab coffee" means "let's grab coffee right now." My American brain kept searching for hidden meanings that didn't exist. "Your Hebrew pronunciation is terrible," said my Alpin teacher. I waited for the softening follow-up, the encouragement, "but you're improving." Nothing came. "Should I practice more?" I asked tentatively. Obviously, why wouldn't you practice more? The driving adjustment nearly killed me. American driving has rules, lanes, and a general agreement that road rage should be kept internal. Israeli driving is like participating in a live-action video game where everyone's playing by different rules. I approached my first Israeli intersection with American cautiousness, signaling properly, checking mirrors, yielding to pedestrians. A car behind me started honking immediately. The driver pulled up beside me at the next light and rolled down his window. "Are you okay? You're driving like you're afraid of your car." "I'm just being safe." "This is Israel, not a driving test. If you drive scared, you'll cause accidents." The bureaucracy was fascinatingly different. American bureaucracy is inefficient, but follows procedures. Israeli bureaucracy is efficient, but follows mood. At the Ministry of Interior, I brought my perfectly organized American-style documentation. Everything in clear plastic sleeves, index tabs, backup copies, and a summary sheet. "Very American," said the clerk approvingly. "But you need Form 23C. "I have Form 23A and Form 23B, I replied, consulting my index. 23C is new as of yesterday. The person at window 3 can help you." Window 3 was closed for lunch, all day, because the clerk at window 3 had decided lunch was more important than forms, and honestly, I started to respect that life philosophy. The social expectations were completely different. Americans network professionally, socialize separately, and keep work and personal life in different compartments. Israelis treat everyone like extended family members they're obligated to manage. "You need to meet my cousin," said my new Israeli friend. "She's perfect for you." "That's very kind, but I'm not really looking." "Nonsense. You're single, she's single, you're both Jewish. What more do you need? I'm inviting you both to dinner Friday." "But we haven't even—" "Friday, 7 p.m. Bring wine." I found myself with a date I hadn't asked for, arranged by someone I'd known for 3 days, in a country where apparently everyone's personal life was community property. The litigation culture shock was hilarious. In America, everything comes with warnings, disclaimers, and the implicit threat of lawsuits. In Israel, personal responsibility is assumed, and lawyers are for actual emergencies. I slipped on a wet floor at a shopping mall and immediately started looking for the wet floor sign, calculating my potential settlement. An Israeli security guard helped me up. "You okay?" "Well, there was no warning sign, and the mall should have—" "Next time, watch where you're walking." That was it. No incident report, no manager, no discussion of liability. Just practical advice and the assumption that adults can navigate wet floors. But here's what's beautiful about making Aliyah from America. You eventually realize that all your American cultural training, the optimism, the work ethic, the innovation mindset, actually fits perfectly with Israeli culture. You just need to add more volume, remove the personal space buffer, and learn to argue as a form of affection. Plus, your American politeness becomes a superpower. Please and thank you are so rare that people think you're the most charming person they've ever met. Eventually, I found my hybrid identity, American-Israeli. I still say have a nice day, but mean it less. I've learned to argue passionately about politics while sharing a meal. I drink tiny coffees, but complain loudly when they're bad. And I've mastered the art of Israeli directness with American smile delivery. That's all for today's episode of Aliyah and Chill. Remember, making Aliyah from America teaches you that cultural adjustment is like learning to drive manual transmission. Terrifying at first, but eventually you can't imagine going back to automatic. And hey, if navigating Israeli directness while maintaining American optimism sounds exhausting, maybe it's time to call Easy Aliyah's VIP concierge service. We speak both American customer service and Israeli efficiency. Until next time, keep that American can-do spirit, but maybe turn down the volume on the personal space requirements.